kasih tanya ucapkan kepada Yang Baginda Datuk Abdul Mutalib Razak, iaitu penulis buku yang akan dilancarkan sebentar lagi. Baik, hadirin sekalian, masih kita nantikan majlis dengan segala hormat dan sukacitanya menjemput tetamu kehormat dan tetamu khas kita petang ini Yang Berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Haji Muhyiddin bin Haji Mohd Yassin, Timbalan Perdana Menteri Malaysia, untuk menyampaikan ucapan rasmi dengan segala hormat. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam satu Malaysia. Yang Muhammad Tan Sri Abu Zahar Ujang, yang Ketua Dewan Negara, yang bahagia Datuk Sri Tan Sri Muhammad Jawhar Hassan, Pengurusi NSD, Yang Mulia Tunku Khadijah Imri Almarhum Tunku Abdul Rahman, yang bahagia Datuk Syed Aidit Syed Murtaza, Pengurusi DRB Haikom Berhad, yang bahagia Tan Sri Datuk Sri Haji Muhammad Kamil Jamil, Pengarah Urusan Kumpulan DRB Haikom Berhad, yang bahagia Datuk Sri Muhammad Iqbal Rauda, Pengurusi Yayasan Pendidikan Islam, sahabat baik dan sahabat lama saya Datuk Abdul Mutalib Razak, penulis buku ini, dan yang bahagia Datin Raziah Madau, Kak Bradi, Tansi-tansi, puan-puan, datuk-datuk, datin-datin, datin jemputan, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian. Pertama-tamanya saya memanjatkan syukur kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala kerana pada petang ini dapat berada di sini di kalangan sahabat-sahabat, kawan-kawan dan tetamu-tetamu yang agak istimewa yang dijemput untuk meraihkan pelancaran buku Expression of Merdeka Malaysia yang ditulis oleh Datuk Mutalib. Sebenarnya dia adalah rakan karib saya bersama dengan Kak Radhi. Memang suatu usaha yang telah beliau lakukan sekian lama untuk menulis buku-buku seperti ini. Dan saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kerana diberikan penghormatan pada hari ini untuk melancarkannya sempena dengan semangat dan bahang kemerdekaan yang masih kita rayakan sekarang, dan juga di samping kita akan menyambut Hari Malaysia tidak berapa lama lagi. Saya juga nak ambil kesempatan untuk menunjukkan bahawa saya juga boleh bertutur dan baca bahasa Inggeris. Saya harap tidak ada pengarah Dewan Bahasa yang nanti sanction Menteri Pendidikan untuk bertutur dalam bahasa bukan bahasa kebangsaan, kerana isu bahasa Inggeris sudah jadi satu perkara yang agak lumrah dan debatnya masih hangat tentang pentingnya bahasa ini kita kuasai dan kita gunakan. So just excuse me for reading this, not talking or speaking, but reading this text in English. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gathered here today to launch a record of a very significant period of our history, that part without which we will not be what we are today, a glorious nation looking forward to even greater success. For we owe a huge debt of gratitude to those who fought for an independent and free Malaya, If not for 31st August 1957, we might not be today's Malaysia, celebrating Malaysia Day on the 16th of September, because the law of probability does not discount the influence of all possibilities. When the Federation of Malaya was born, embracing the Malay states and the crown colonies of Penang and Malacca, the heart of Southeast Asia was set to be logically defined, metaphorically pulling together two land masses divided by 1,000 miles of sea, which is the South China Sea. And so the history of Malaysia is not complete without the Malay Peninsula's struggle for independence, and driven by the need to divest the motherland from foreign occupations, the United Malay National Organization, or in short UMNO, was formed. Winning self-determination for Malaya gave her first Prime Minister, Almarhum Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Haj, the wherewithal to hem a larger federation and take it to a prosperous future one as we see it today. A politically stable, peaceful and economically prosperous nation of several ethnicities, slowly but surely being glued into one. It is then my obligation as the country's incumbent Minister of Education to launch a coffee table book that seeks to remind and educate Malaysians of what our nation is all about, of the struggles of the component member state that came together to free ourselves of a single foreign oppressor. And we, at the time of the formation of Malaysia, were the victims of the British hegemony. And this book arrives at an opportune moment when prosperity and peace are being taken for granted by those who, for some reason, do not appreciate the fact that it is a myth to believe the nonsense that more freedom was extant under the British. Yes, but only for a westernized urban population facilitating the colonizers. Otherwise, freedom only meant that the Malays were left to a policy of separate development, as were the natives of Sabah and Sarawak. And this last, where a white Raja supplanted himself, and then in the end, when it was no longer feasible to carry on, gave the territory over to the British. Now today, having taken our lives into our own hands, together we see a nation united in diversity, in almost unique achievement envisioned by our founding fathers and mothers. Ladies and gentlemen, this book seeks to locate our awareness as a nation, to bring to the fore a relevance often forgotten. Malaysia, an inheritance not to be pilfered away in the way of misinformation. It helps contextualize such myths as the Communist Party of Malaya being no less nationalistic, and in fact maybe more so as the rewriting of the Bukit Kepong, the salt history seems to suggest. In a blink of an eye, the policemen, many of whom lost their lives, were redrawn as traitors, and that they were as much victims of colonization is conveniently forgotten. I have to commend the author, sahabat saya, Abdul Mutalib Razak, for coming up with this very important book. Abdul Mutalib, of course, is not a novice when it comes to writing and producing books. Prior to this, he has published a book on the emergency period called The Emergency Revisited. And for your information, in 2007, when he was the chairman of Media Prima Berhad, he produced a documentary entitled Jungle Green, Khaki Brown, also about the emergency era, which I had the privilege of launching as well. Now, coming back to this book, I must say that Abdul Mutalib has made a tremendous effort in putting together so much invaluable information in the way of pictures, which not only feed our nostalgia, but more importantly, bring alive the words coin. And indeed, as the book itself states, a picture paints 1,000 words. I'm sure it is his cherished hope that the pictures will provoke further curiosity, especially to the younger readers. And speaking of younger readers, I think this book is an excellent source of reference for young people who wish to be enlightened on how the country achieved its independence and subsequently became a multiracial, multi-religious and multicultural nation called Malaysia. And for this reason, I think libraries, be they public libraries or school libraries, should make them available to students. Now, our evolution from then until now, contrasting the history as told by the pictures and today's reality, may well be the stimulus needed to grow a patriotism and love of nation that will spur the country towards even more development, one that is sustainable and innovative, where excellence is the national trademark. After all, 57 years of independence is time long enough for One Malaysia to stop being a slogan and become a description of this country. Berbilang kaum, berbilang agama, dan bersekutu dan satu di bawah naungan jalur gemilang. Sekali lagi saya ingin mengucapkan tahniah pada Abdul Mutalib. I think you should continue to write and write. We will obviously support you. I do believe the RBI Com will always stand with you. And I saw a lot of corporate personalities in the rooms, which I would believe will be much motivated by this initiative that you have taken, and they too hopefully will support your initiative. I will personally support you as well. Dengan itu, dengan nama Allah yang Maha Pemurah lagi yang Maha Mengasihani, saya dengan segala sukacita yang melancarkan the Expression of Merdeka Malaysia by Datuk Seri Mutalib Razak. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Majlis jemput yang berhormat untuk terus berada di lintas bagi acara seterusnya, dan untuk ini majlis persilakan kepada Datuk Seri Mohd bersama Datuk Mutalib, juga dijemput kepada Tan Sri Shah Alam, kepada Datuk Syed Muhammad serta kepada Tan Sri Datuk Sri Haji Muhammad Kamil Jamil untuk lintas bersama dengan yang berhormat bagi acara silakan. Majlis ini menjemput yang berhormat Timbalan Perdana Menteri Malaysia untuk menyentuh globe. Backdrop sudah Expression of Merdeka Malaysia, pictorial history by Abdul Mutalib Razak.